Welcome to Deep Dive by the Quiet Footnote. Today, we're taking a truly insightful journey, really digging into a book that promises to change how you relate to your inner world. It's Karla McLaren's The Language of Emotions. For this deep dive, you, our listener, have basically handed us this fantastic stack of notes, reflections on this, well, transformative work. Our mission. Let's unpack the big messages inside, maybe challenge some common ideas, and show why this book feels more vital than ever, especially for you. Okay, let's unpack this a bit. Imagine if every feeling you had wasn't actually a problem you needed to fix. What if it was a message, something to understand? That's the really radical idea we're diving into. So at its heart, what fundamental problem, what gap was Karla McLaren really trying to address with the language of emotions?
Well, McLaren identified this really pervasive blind spot. Culturally, psychologically, it affects almost everyone. We simply don't know how to genuinely relate to our own emotions. It's kind of shocking when you think about it. She saw how across so many societies, emotions get mistranslated all the time. You know, fear gets labeled cowardice. Anger just becomes aggression.
Right. Simplified.
Exactly. Or they get pathologized in psychology, right? Reduced to disorders. Or, maybe more commonly, just squashed into these unhelpful positive versus negative boxes. And what that does, ironically, is it encourages us to just numb out or shut down anything we decide is bad.
Yeah, the inconvenient feelings.
Precisely. And this creates a world where people are actually afraid of their own inner states. They lack a toolkit, a way to understand what their emotions are trying to tell them. So McLaren asks this really powerful question. What if emotions aren't problems we need to solve? What if they're languages we need to learn?
Okay, and here's where it gets really interesting for you. Listening in, she doesn't just pose the question. She actually offers a whole framework, a way to listen, to interpret, and crucially, to respond to these inner messages. It's almost like learning the grammar of your inner life. She believes every single emotion is not random noise. It carries intelligence, it carries guidance, even survival wisdom. So anger isn't just bad, grief isn't weakness, fear isn't inherently irrational. They are all forms of communication from inside you.
Yeah, and what's fascinating, truly fascinating, is how she invites us into what she calls empathic dialogue with our emotions. So instead of trying to wrestle them into submission or just push them away.
Which is what most of us do, right?
Pretty much, yeah. She suggests we listen with profound curiosity, compassion even. Treat them like they're wise messengers. Her core vision is really to position emotions as our internal guides, each one carrying a specific actionable message. So the practice becomes identify the emotion, ask it, what are you pointing to? And then respond in a way that actually honors the signal.
She puts it so well. She says, if you can empathically communicate with your emotions as the specific and brilliant messengers they are, you'll have all the energy and information you need to create a meaningful and conscious life. That completely shifts it from a battle to a dialogue. Now, this book isn't just about offering a new way to see things. It's actively challenging these really deep-seated beliefs we have about feelings, beliefs passed down for generations.
Yeah.
What are some of the big myths McLaren just busts wide open?
Oh, she really rolls up her sleeves here.
Yeah.
One of the absolute biggest is this idea that emotions are either positive or negative.
Yeah.
Full stop.
Right. Good or bad.
Exactly. McLaren says, look, this is a damaging moral judgment. Emotions aren't moral categories. They are complex information systems. That's it. Anger, grief, fear, they aren't intrinsically bad. They're data. They're guidance, giving you real-time feedback about your world, internal and external. Then there's the idea that anger is just dangerous, destructive, period.
That's a big one. Culturally.
Huge. And she flips this one completely. She reframes anger as sacred. Its real purpose, to protect your boundaries, to restore justice or balance. The problem, she argues, isn't the anger itself. It's that we're disconnected from its wisdom. We don't know how to use it skillfully. Her guiding question for anger is just brilliant in its simplicity. What must be protected? What must be restored?
Wow.
It turns this feared emotion into a really precise moral compass.
Okay, and what about fear? The idea that it's just irrational, cowardly. I mean, everyone's been told to just get over being scared.
Right, as if it's a character flaw. McLaren teaches that fear is actually a highly evolved skill, a survival mechanism. It sharpens your senses. It alerts you to subtle changes, things you might otherwise miss. It's fundamentally designed to keep you alive.
So it's intuition almost.
It's a powerful form of intuition, yeah. A primal warning system. Not weakness, it's about heightened awareness, being alert, ready. She also tackles grief. The idea that it's weakness or something you need to rush through, get over quickly. She asserts that grief is one of our most sacred acts. It's about honoring honoring people, dreams, parts of ourselves, even worlds we've lost.
Yeah.
It's not pathology. It's a necessary, sacred process. And trying to skip it just blocks healing.
Okay, this next one really struck me as revolutionary. The common idea that love is an emotion. We talk about feeling love, like it's just one specific feeling state.
That's right. And McLaren makes this really profound distinction. She argues love isn't a single emotional state at all. It's more like the vast field,
Yeah.
an encompassing presence that actually contains all emotions.
Contains them.
Yeah. Joy, sorrow, fear, anger, true love, in her view, holds and integrates them all. It's about cultivating a presence that can make space for everything.
Right.
Allowing all feelings to flow within its embrace rather than just chasing those fleeting, loving feelings. It's a state of being, not just a feeling.
It's different.
It is. And she also challenges that common goal,
Mm-hmm.
trying to control or eliminate emotions. Get rid of the bad ones. This is where her metaphor of emotions as rivers is so powerful. Block them. They turn toxic, stagnant. But let them move. Let them flow. They cleanse. They renew. Suppression causes suffering. Allowing movement brings healing, vitality. And this next one is so crucial, especially if you're navigating past difficulties. The myth that you can heal trauma by bypassing the emotions connected to it. True resolution, she insists, absolutely requires integrating and listening to the full range of emotions tied to that experience.
You can't skip steps.
You can't skip them. Skipping them means skipping the healing itself.
Wow. Okay, that is genuinely a paradigm shift. Treating every emotion as intelligence. That flies in the face of centuries of teaching, right? Where we learn to suppress or ignore stuff. It's like she's saying, hey, you've been taught to distrust the very currents trying to guide you. What if you actually leaned in? And that specific question for anger, what must be protected, what must be restored, I mean, that transforms it from just destruction to a tool, a moral compass for individuals, maybe even for communities dealing with injustice.
Absolutely. And what's also incredibly powerful, I think, is how she dismantles the idea that emotions are purely private. Just isolated individual experiences happening inside your head. She highlights how emotions are also profoundly social, collective even. Healing often happens in relationship, in community, not just alone.
Right.
So when we see things like widespread anger or collective grief, think about ecological grief, her work suggests these aren't just millions of individual feelings. They're shared signals. They demand collective attention and response.
So, connecting all this, what does it mean for us today, right now? Why are these ideas from McLaren still so relevant, maybe even more urgent now than when she first wrote them?
You know, if you look at the bigger picture, McLaren's work feels almost prophetic. It really does. We are undeniably living in an age of, well, emotional illiteracy, perhaps. Social media bombards us with performative feelings, joy, outrage, but often without much depth.
Yeah, surface level.
Right. Her framework offers this potent antidote. It teaches us, treat your emotions as guidance, not just spectacle, not just something to post about. And this brings up a really important point. We're in a world grappling with, let's face it, skyrocketing rates of anxiety, depression, burnout. Her approach doesn't just dismiss these as malfunctions, like, oh, you're broken.
Right.
Instead, it sees them as potentially vital signals. Signals about imbalance, maybe unmet needs, or deep, unaddressed emotions bubbling up. So instead of just reaching for a quick fix or trying to suppress every negative feeling, her work points towards listening, really listening, as a crucial part of healing.
That feels incredibly important right now, especially in a culture that often seems to prioritize numbing over understanding. And thinking about today's world, she offers insights for the polarization, the collective anger we see everywhere. Reframing anger as that boundary signal, asking what needs protection, what needs restoring, that could genuinely shift how communities tackle injustice, how they handle conflict. It could turn anger from just this destructive impulse into a focused tool for repair, for positive change.
Exactly. And think about collective sorrow, too. Like ecological grief, that deep sadness for what's happening to our planet. Her work gives people permission almost. It validates that grief as a sacred act of honoring. Not something weird or something to push away. It's essential medicine.
Yeah.
And her emphasis on practical skills, like grounding and setting boundaries. These are becoming essential survival tools. Seriously. For dealing with the empathic overwhelm of the 21st century. She knew empathy could be both a gift and a burden. And that's just amplified massively by our hyper-connected digital age. We're constantly absorbing emotional static from screens, from news cycles. Knowing how to protect your own emotional space isn't a luxury anymore. It feels like a necessity.
It really does. And looking ahead, If McLaren were updating the book today, what do you think she'd add?
Oh, that's interesting. I bet she'd have whole new chapters on, like, digital emotions in the age of hyperconnection.
Yeah, like digital empathy hygiene, how to cope after doom scrolling for an hour.
Exactly. Or how to tell when the anxiety you're feeling is actually contagious, pick up online, versus truly your own. And she'd definitely explore AI, wouldn't she? AI, empathy, maybe emotional surrogates.
Right. Can machines actually help us process feelings? Or is there a risk they just let our own empathy muscles atrophy?
It's a huge question. The paradox of outsourcing emotional intelligence.
What would she say?
She'd probably offer some kind of guiding principle for this era, like, look, your emotions aren't just yours anymore. You're swimming this planetary ocean of feeling. Learning the language of emotions today means learning to distinguish what belongs to you, what belongs to the collective, and how do you honor both.
That's powerful. Okay, so for you listening right now, what are the absolute key takeaways? The main principles McLaren really hopes you internalize, the ones that could reshape your inner world. And crucially, how can you start applying them? Like today.
Right. She really wants these to sink in deep, to become almost second nature. First, and maybe the most fundamental, there are no bad emotions, period. Every single one, rage, grief, joy, terror, carries intelligence. The problem isn't the feeling. It's our cultural refusal to listen.
Okay, number one, no bad emotions.
Number two, emotions are a language, not just random noise. Each has a specific message you can learn to decipher. Anger protects. Fear alerts. Grief honors. Joy integrates. Learning to decode them makes life less chaotic, more meaningful, more intentional.
Got it. Language, not noise.
Third, anger, fear, and grief are sacred guides. These are the ones we're usually taught to avoid, right? But McLaren insists they hold some of the deepest wisdom, especially for boundaries, for intuition, for real connection. Don't run from them.
Sacred guides, okay?
Fourth, suppression creates suffering. Flow creates healing. Remember the river. Blocking emotions makes them toxic, stagnant, allowing them to move, to be expressed appropriately. That cleanses, renews your whole system.
Let it flow. Makes sense.
And fifth, love is not a single emotion. It's the ground, the spacious field that holds all the emotions. True love isn't about always feeling good. It's not about avoiding discomfort. It's about making space for the whole symphony, the whole messy, glorious human experience, dark and light together.
Love holds it all. Okay, those are 5 huge ideas. So what does this mean practically? For your daily life, your work, your relationships. McLaren offers these really practical, actionable tools. She calls them the 5 empathic skills, sometimes the raft. And these aren't just, nice ideas or fluffy affirmations. They're visceral, body-based practices to help you navigate your emotional waters. Let's quickly touch on these because this is where it gets really hands-on for you, the listener. First is grounding, anchoring into your body. Feeling your feet on the ground. It sounds simple, but it's profound for stabilizing your nervous system when things get intense. Brings you back to right here, right now.
And your internal ballast, yeah.
Exactly. Second, defining boundaries. Consciously shaping that safe emotional space. Knowing your limits. Saying no when you need to. Protecting your energy.
Crucial.
Third, burning contracts. This is more symbolic. A ritual release. Letting go of old patterns, beliefs, unhealthy agreements that just don't serve you anymore. Making space.
Powerful.
Fourth, conscious complaining. This one sounds funny, right? But it's about honest lament as fuel, a structured way to vent frustration, not to wallow, but to acknowledge it, release steam safely, and restore flow.
Without dumping it on others.
Right. And fifth, rejuvenation.
Yeah.
Actively reconnecting with your vibrancy, finding real ways to replenish your energy after dealing with difficult stuff. It's resilient self-care.
Absolutely necessary.
Reading McLaren for me, it feels like being told, stop trying to translate yourself into someone else's language. Speak your own, especially if you're creative, a musician, a writer. Emotions aren't the enemy. They're the raw material, the paint on the palette, that fear before you perform. It isn't a signal to run away. It's a nudge saying, pay attention. This matters to you.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Indian classical ragas. They don't just express moods, they embody them. Each raga has its own time, its place, its wisdom. You learn to listen to the specific melody inside you.
That's a beautiful analogy.
So as we wrap this up, what's the unheard message here? The quiet hum beneath McLaren's words? The thing she really, truly wants you to feel deep down?
I think it's this. You are not broken. You're not. Every single emotion you feel, even the ones that completely scare you or make you feel like you're unraveling, they are proof. Proof of your aliveness, your vitality, your sheer human capacity. The culture might label you too sensitive, too angry, too fearful, too much. But McLaren whispers this profoundly reassuring truth. Nothing in you is wrong. It all belongs.
Wow. She's gently but firmly saying, stop chasing that impossible positive-only self. It's a myth. It's exhausting. True wholeness, that means holding the dark and the light, the joy and the pain, holding it all together. It's all part of the experience. The emotions you've been taught to hide, maybe feel ashamed of, those aren't weaknesses. They are holy ground, waiting for your kind attention. And ultimately, your emotions aren't enemies you need to conquer. They are your oldest allies, your wisest guides, patiently asking you to just come home to yourself. So for you, our listener, maybe an invitation as you continue your own deep dive this week. Just observe the currents of your own emotions. Maybe pick just one difficult feeling that comes up. Anger, fear, sadness, whatever it is. And instead of pushing it away, try approaching it with just a little curiosity. Ask it McLaren's powerful question. What must be protected here? What must be restored? See what happens. Join us next time for another deep dive here on the Quiet Footnote.